the Atlanta Falcons have signed defensive tackle Grady Jarrett to a 3-year extension, and I think this sets Atlanta up really well for this season and the future to come. What do you think about this?
Yeah, just like you said, the Atlanta Falcons locked up and extended Grady Jarrett, their quality defensive tackle. The Score reported that the Atlanta Falcons agreed to terms on a 3-year contract extension with defensive tackle Grady Jarrett. The deal is worth up to $51 million and includes $34 million guaranteed, sources told NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. Garrett, who's now signed through 2025, had 1 year left on the 4-year, $68 million contract he previously inked in 2019. The 29-year-old's new $17 million average salary is the 7th highest among defensive tackles, according to Spot Track. Aaron Donald, Los Angeles Rams, tops the position group with $22.5 million annually. So Grady Jarrett's a quality player. I think we can all agree on that. You know, he's been a mainstay in Atlanta. He's been a really high-value player for them, kind of a team leader, a good cultural fit. But I think this speaks more not what the Atlanta Falcons are trying to do with Grady Jarrett, but what they're trying to do at the quarterback position. And I know that sounds crazy when you sign a defensive tackle. Look, the Falcons, they just drafted Desmond Ridder. They obviously moved off of Matt Ryan. They brought in Marcus Mariota. They got to find out if Ridder or Mariota is their guy this season, right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. They got to figure out who they're going to roll with and which one's going to set them up with the future. I lean more towards one than the other just because one is unknown and the other has shown what they can do. But I think that this is a big way to set them up to potentially go bigger in the future, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the whole point, right? Is to bring clarity. Grady Jarrett only had 1 year left on his deal. It meant he was going to be a free agent in 2023. That means the Falcons and GM Terry Fontenot were going to have to deal with Grady Jarrett and his contract next year. Next year, they want to be focusing on bigger things. If they got the quarterback situation figured out, let's say Desmond Ridder looks like a stud. They want to go all in the offseason surrounding Desmond Ridder, probably with offensive line talent, maybe another veteran wide receiver or two. If that's say they don't like Ridder and Mariota doesn't work out, then they need to figure out who they want to draft at the quarterback position in the 2023 NFL draft, while also potentially trying to add more pieces on offense in the free agency. Because remember, Atlanta Falcons were kind of stuck this offseason because they just ate Matt Ryan's $40 million cap hit. Next year, that's gone. So that's $40 million bucks that the Falcons are going to have to spend on offensive talent. And just by locking up Grady Jarrett, I feel like it's just an ease of mind, right? You don't have to worry about him anymore because I think he's an important part of that defense. Him and Terrell at the cornerback position are two kind of underrated players. And while they don't directly benefit the offense, I think just having them locked up keeps the locker room stable and the culture stable for the future.
Yeah, you don't want those contracts to sneak up on you and then realize, oh, mainstay defensive tackle, we're going to have to pay him soon. This is going to affect us for the future. No, you want to have like 3 years down the road locked up. That feels good. But, you know, I think it's a good move as well. Top 7 money, not too bad. You don't have to pay him like market resetting deal. According to Pro Football Focus, though, 4 of Jarrett's last 5 years, he graded 80 plus. In 2 of those 5, he graded 90 plus. Yeah. So he's had some very, very good years for the Falcons, very productive player. And I think the overall return on investment for Jarrett being a 5th round pick out of Clemson is pretty solid for Atlanta. They have to be happy with what he's done.
Right, especially when you consider Atlanta, at least the past few years, has been a little lacking on defensive talent in the front 7, especially on the defensive line. So he's kind of been a one-man band in the interior part of the defensive line. And we talked about the Falcons making big moves in 2023. Obviously, Matt Ryan's $40 million cap hit goes away next year. How about this? Julio Jones, who didn't even play for Atlanta last year, still counts $15 million bucks against the Atlanta Falcons salary cap this year. So think about that. The Atlanta Falcons are going to have $55 million of free salary cap space, additional to whatever they're going to have anyway, just because Matt Ryan and Julio Jones's contracts are going to be off the books. So just by locking up Grady Jarrett and kind of clearing the deck, making sure all their ducks are in a row going into next offseason, they're going to have all the money available to make any kind of move they want, whether it's go for a different quarterback or surround whoever they want at quarterback with talented veteran players. The Atlanta Falcons kind of did a really good job here by just steadying the course and making a plan for the future.